Hi, I'm Kathryn, and this is My Making Adventure, a video podcast where I share all my making adventures in a variety of crafty things. Today I have knitting and sewing to share with you. I live in the rural Midwest with my husband and our 3 daughters. Today is June 6, 2026. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as My Making Adventure. Today I'm wearing my 4th hinterland dress. This is a scrappy version that I made with fabric I got for free at our library swap. Mostly, it might not have all come from there, but scraps of fabric that I had lying around that I turned into a dress. It is my scrappy hinterland. And at the end of the video today, I have a haul to show you of all of the things I got from our most recent library swap that was going on this weekend. So yeah, I'm excited to show you all the fun things I found there this time. I maybe went a little overboard, but I brought things to make room for this stuff. So hopefully once I've washed it all, I'll be able to fit it back on the shelf. Anyway, first we'll start with finished objects, and I finished my storm sweater by Petite knit. Ta-da! I am really excited because this has been a super long process. I'm gonna start from the beginning just because this is finally done. Sorry if you've heard this all before, but this project started because my library, I live in a small town, so the library is like the hub of community events. Our library hosted a wool sweater sale, and I was able to purchase several 100% wool sweaters for like $10 a piece. They're Irish wool sweaters, and most of them had never been worn. They still had the tags on them, and I purchased several and gave some away to people they would fit, but none of them were in my size. They were like only smalls. And so I frogged 2 separate sweaters that were similar shades of pink. The fabric, I believe was machine knit and machine sewn together. So in some places, like the ends were cut, like to shape the back. And so like that top back part did not produce good thread for sewing with, but around the body, or for knitting with, but around the body I could get a longer piece. The yarn was all like double knit, like 2 strands held together. And so after I frogged the 2 sweaters, which was a process, then I had to take the double knit yarn and undo them. So I had 2 balls instead of just 1. And then when I knit the sweater, I held 1 ball from each color, since the 2 sweaters were similar but not exactly the same. So I held 1 strand of yarn from each of the 2 different sweaters while I knit this. And it was a long process to just get the yarn ready. I didn't even like wash the yarn or dry it. I was knitting with noodle yarn. And the blocking transformation on this, it was amazing. Let me think, what else is important? I think I used US 5 needles to knit the main body with the yarn that I had. I'm not sure if I was on gauge or not at all. I'm pretty sure I wasn't, just because I never am. I'm trying to remember what size I made, but it's pretty oversized. I am a little bit worried about like the neck stretching out. I think last time I talked about how cool the neck design is though. But yeah, the patterning looks really nice after blocking. It did not look so nice and neat before blocking. And okay, brief intermission, I'm back. I did modify the sleeve. I knit it as written initially, and it was going to be enormous. So I think I omitted 1 pattern repeat, and I also did a rapid decrease to reduce the final number of stitches by I think at least 10 compared to what the pattern called for. It does fit fairly well. Now, I think I'll try to do B-roll because I don't think I can stand up with how the camera is right now, and that will give a better view of the whole fit of it. But I am very pleased with how it came out. And now it's all the ends are woven in, which when you're holding 2 strands together, like one strand breaks and then later another strand breaks. And the nice thing is it's like the yarn breaking doesn't stress the fluidity of the fabric as much, but it's just a lot of ends to weave in when I was done. And it's not like I was working with 50 or 100 gram balls. I was working with like 36 grams of yarn in this ball or 18 in this. So I did have quite a few ends to weave in. The ends are woven in. It is blocked. This was my 12 cast on stay 12 project. So I cast on knitting this in January and it's done now. I used, referencing Ravelry, 347 grams of color 1 and 385 grams of color 2. It's like a 40 gram difference between the 2 yarns for a total of 732 grams of yarn in this sweater. I still have some left of each of those colors, and I still have I believe two sweaters to frog. I was thinking that for those remaining 2 sweaters, I would not rip them apart. I would keep them as they're double knit and make something stripy for my kids. So that's kind of the tentative plan for that. I'm gonna leave this out, so hopefully I remember to at least get a photo of me wearing it for you. Right, I also finished a very, very small thing, and that is a scrappy dishcloth. So I just made this with cotton yarn that I get from Hobie. It's a fingering weight cotton, and I knit all of this first and I realized it was not tall enough. So I added a strip to the bottom to make it big enough, and I used the kind of a jelly roll style dishcloth. This will just be for me and my family. It is very scrappy. I think I have 10 different yarns in this, but that means I have way fewer scraps of this yarn than I did before, and I'm excited about that. And now maybe I'll have better headspace to start working on the cats again soon. Although I do have a few whips that are going to be taking up my time probably for June. We'll see. I might have to set some of those aside to work on cats, or maybe I'll pick the cats back up in July or August. I have done a little bit of sewing, but I'm just gonna save all of my sewing content for the end of the video so that it can be kind of all together. So I'm going to transition to my knitting works in progress. I did frog my relaxed tee, and I cast it. I used the yarn from that to cast on, I feel like that's not the right name, a new tee, Sophorine tee by Audrey Borrego. I'm gonna edit that now so it doesn't get wrong in my notes. Okay, so I had previously shown you that I cast on with my cotton yarn, and I decided that I wasn't really liking the way that was looking, but I did like the way that the t-shirt was knitting up. So I cast on with the Borrego yarn that I had used in my relaxed tee. This color is, I believe, Rosalind? I don't remember, it's Rosalind. So yeah, I knit, in this one you knit the front pieces first. So I knit the front pieces, and then I have attached the back piece to that, and I have to knit, I think like 50 more rows of the back panel before joining in the round. So there's like 20 some rounds left before I do the arm shaping. And then there's like 20 some rounds of the arm shaping, armhole shaping. And then I'll be in the round. Once I'm in the round, I'm gonna stripe in the Pearls and Pines Coffee House yarn. And I'm also planning to use this Coffee House yarn for all of the ribbing, the neck ribbing. This pattern, the Sophorine, can be either a tank top, like a sleeveless shirt, or a sleeved t-shirt. So we'll have to see how my yardage goes. I could do my sleeves in this Coffee House color too, like full sleeves. In that, I don't tend to wear very many sleeveless things. So if I could make it have sleeves, that'd be nice. I've also toyed with the idea of just ordering another skein of this Borrego yarn because I think that I could get that. I don't think I could get another skein of this Coffee House just because it's a small indie dyer and it's not listed on her website anymore. I got it like at a clearance price. But I feel like I could probably order another skein of Borrego, although it was in the back of my mind, but I haven't even tried. So I'm just going with, let's see how this goes. And once I'm joined in the body, I will stripe in. Some of the project pages for the Sophorine tee did that. They only striped the body, not the yoke. And I really liked the way they looked. So we shall see. Hopefully I won't regret it. Hopefully it'll come out. It'll turn out all right. It is a V-neck. Can be short sleeves or no sleeves. There would be finishing to do, like ribbing to do, even if I don't put sleeves on it. And I would do that in this. All right, I think this is how that looks right now. And so right now it's just like back and forth plain stockinette knitting, and it's kind of boring. So I'm just, and plus it's a lot of purling. So I'm trying to do a few rounds every day just so that I don't ignore it, and then see what happens once it's joined in the round. My next whip is kind of a big one. Oops, I need the pattern with, hold on. I keep doing that lately where I put away my project, but I don't put the pattern in it. Audrey Borrego's patterns, I think, are all free on Ravelry, so the Sophorine tee was a free pattern. So that's also a bonus. Okay, my last whip is a mystery knit along. It is the Quilt Star Shawl by Gabrielle Vezina. And oops, I am using US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. So far for this mystery knit along, only clue 1 has been released. So I'll show you my progress at the end, but I'll show you my yarn first. I am using some of our hand-dyed yarn, and my main color is Spider's Web, a little silvery gray. And this is all fingering weight yarn. It's a fingering weight shawl. And then let's see, contrast color 1 is Blueberry. Contrast color 2 is Grape. And those I had left over from another project. Then I had a small scrap of my third contrast color, which is Raspberry, that I actually used to knit clue 1. But here is a bigger idea of that color. And then I kicked up a new skein of contrast color 4, which is Carrot. Hopefully those are showing up good on the camera. So clue 1, I felt like there's 6 clues for the make along. I felt like clue 1 didn't actually involve that much knitting. It was a little tricky to get started. There were a lot of ends to weave in, but overall, I used only like 20 grams of yarn. So I'm guessing that the other clues will be larger. I know a lot of people who do mystery make-alongs, mystery knit-alongs say that they like that when the first clue is a little bit smaller because it makes it easier for people to join in later once they've seen, you know, a little sneak peek of what the pattern really looks like. Or if you get started and you don't like the way your colors are working, it gives you time to like rip it out and start again. So I'm guessing that the next clue will be a little bit larger. These ones come out on Wednesdays. So today's Saturday. I'm already done with clue 1 and I'm going to show you that. So if you don't want to see, look away. There were a lot of ends, but this is a finish of clue 1. And this is marking like my first part that I did. And there were lots of questions about how the short rows are done, and you also have to close up a big gap kind of in the middle when you finish. I am looking at ways to weave in ends as I go so that I don't have so many at the end. So I did go ahead and weave in my ends. You can see them all kind of like hanging there. I find that if I don't leave them like an inch long, they like work their way to the front of the project, and I don't like that. So ends hanging out on the back, but the front's looking nice and sharp, and I'm really eager to see clue 2. I do know once like this one I was able to finish in a few days, but if the other clues are longer, it's going to take me the good part of a week to get it done, especially when we have a busy week. Like my mom's going to be here one of the weeks of the make along, so I might not even get started until like Saturday that week. So with my tee and that shawl, and I'm going to be casting on my daughter's dress. Since I finished the storm sweater, I ordered yarn for a dress for her, and I think that's coming in the next week. So hopefully I'll be ready to cast on a dress for her. I was thinking that I would do a regular like raglan style for the bodice, but then I remembered that I do have a yoke. I was just gonna copy a kid's sweater pattern that I have that is a raglan style, and then just make it short and put on the skirt, like rather than following a full dress pattern. But I do have a couple round yoke patterns for kids as well. So I now have to decide if I want to try to follow one of the round yoke patterns or one of the raglan patterns. So which one works better if you're striping? The lifted increases that you do in a round yoke or the raglan increases? I feel like raglan increases make one left and right work better for striping. Unless, like, I could probably like intentionally place my stripes and my lifted increases a certain way. Hold on, I'm about to be interrupted.
Hey, I think I'll still time on the mountain.
Good job. Now go back to your rest time, please. And I don't want to have to worry about making sure my increases are at the right spot in this striping sequence because I'm making it all up. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do a raglan like I had initially thought, and that will probably be based off of one of Hanagram patterns that I already have. And I will probably, like a sweater you want oversized, but a dress you don't want the bodice oversized, especially since the skirt will like drag it down and be heavy. So I'm probably looking at sizing down from her regular sweater size to make the bodice of the dress. In case you were interested, somebody asked me, I think Emily asked me what pattern I was using. I'm kind of winging it kind of following a pattern. There are patterns out there though, if you're interested in knitting a dress for a little girl. There are fingering weight and DK worsted weight patterns, I believe. So, all right, I think we're ready to talk sewing. First, I'll show you the few little projects I finished. And these are little projects, but I did get out my fabric, go through it, pick out some fabric, cut it, and sew it. So that was progress. I had some leftover Kansas City Royals fabric that I used 5 years ago. And I wanted to use it up because I'm not actually a Royals fan. So I made 2 little like key wristlets and a zipper pouch. These are for people who actually like the Royals. And then I also cut out some cute flower fabric and made another zipper pouch. So, ta-da! Those are my sewing projects that I've done so far. I didn't tackle the dress for my daughter or anything like that. I am now looking and seeing that my 4-year-old wanted me to share with you the jump rope she crocheted. So I'm gonna take a pause from sewing and show you that my 4-year-old has been working on her chain stitch for crochet, and she crocheted a jump rope. So ta-da! She's very proud of it. She put it in my pile of things to show on my video. My 6-year-old is crocheting a swatch very independently with a couple different yarns, like little balls of yarn I have, but she wants to show you herself when she is done. So just a FYI, that will be coming soon. It is 6 hours later, so sorry if the lighting is a lot different or if I look like I've lived another half day. Let's see if we can get the haul part of this video filmed. So I'd just like to show you the things I got from our library's free craft exchange they hosted this weekend. So I'm not sure if I mentioned previously or not, but I did bring in some fabric and the yarn from the blanket that I shared previously I was going to frog. I didn't actually frog the blanket, I just brought it all. And whoever wants the yarn can frog it if they want, or use it if they want. Yeah, and I brought some fabric that was like really stretchy, and it's harder for me to sew with, and some fabric some fleece that I've had for years and years that I don't have a specific plan for. So let's see. I got tissue paper. It felt useful. I got a women's blouse sewing pattern, and it says that this can be in cotton or linen, or other fabric types that I was really looking for the cotton because that's what I typically use. And a kid's dress sewing pattern. So this is made by Ray Sewing Patterns. It's called Geranium, and it has sizes 0 to 5T. That will fit 2 of my 3 daughters. This Simplicity blouse pattern is S9274. So, and I think it has, I'll probably do one of B or C, not the long sleeves, but one of the other 2. Surprisingly, so C has like maybe sleeves that go down even further than this, and B is just like a cap sleeve, but C does not, let me see, C doesn't use a bunch more fabric than B. So this is, I've got about a yard of this. I like the geometric design. I have some of this. This is thick, like upholstery fabric. I like the trees. This is just orange. I'm not sure what this is. It's like thick, kind of flannel-y, but not really. Maybe it is a flannel type. And I have no idea how much of this I have. It's like fuzzy like flannel. I have almost 3 yards of this, which is a linen-y, cottony feel, and I love this. I would love to make myself a dress out of this, but I don't think that I have enough. So I might make myself a blouse, or I might find something else to do with it. Maybe I'll make pants. I wonder if I could make pants or shorts out of it. Okay, I didn't think of that the first time I filmed this part of the video. I'm filming again, I don't think I mentioned, because my phone ran out of storage partway through this before. I have about 1 yard of this, which is cottony, linen-y again. This is 1.5 yards, and it is like quilting cotton. About 2 to 2.5 yards of this quilting cotton design. Might make some cute Christmas dresses or Christmassy bags. I have 3 yards of this, which is like a very lightly patterned, very cream neutral quilting cotton. Yeah, I don't want white pants though. I think this is like 2 yards or so. And it's that like, is it seersucker? Is that what it's called? When it's like squishy, like bumpy. It's like a cotton fabric that is not smooth. I don't know, I couldn't resist this. I thought it would be really fun to make something for the 4th of July out of this. Maybe some dresses for my little girls. And then I got some like denim, like chambray type. It is hard for me to know how much of this I have because it has like loose ends everywhere. I need to kind of trim it up to get an idea. But this would be good for clothing. It would work for clothing, but I probably would use it for project bags. Which means I probably didn't need to bring it home because I have denim, but I brought it home. And then I think I have 2 more fabric pieces. This one is actually already quilted together. So I got it from the library, quilted. I think this is probably like, to me, the right side. And then the back side. That's probably about 1 yard. So this could just have binding added to it and you would have like a little baby quilt. But I think I will probably cut it up for like project bag. A little quilted project bag. Because that sounds fun to me. And then the last fabric is also sort of like put together like to make a quilt, but I will probably make project bags with it. I'm gonna put some of this away in case it's blocking the view. But it's not quilted or sewn together. It is just matched together. So there's a pink flannel, but then folded up in here, but the main fabric is gardeny. So peas and carrots, little flowers, garden tools. So yeah, I think this is this is still double, so a bigger piece of fabric than the purple one, but still really beautiful, and I still can make something really exciting with it. This would probably go really well with that also, like for a base. And then I could use the pink flannel on the inside, or I could use the pink flowers, the pink and blue flower stuff I got on the inside. or I could even use that like creamy one. So there's quite a few options. I got a few other odds and ends, including some yarn, but I'm gonna save the yarn for the end. My daughters okay, my daughters each got a stamp set. This is the seed stamp set. They each have 5 seeds, or 5 stamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they are already dirtier than they were when we got them because we got them dirty. This one fell, so I'm trying to put it in order. This is a butterfly life cycle, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're really, my older daughters each got one. They're really excited about that. We just have like 1 black ink pad, so we will be investing in ink for those rubber stamps. I got a couple zippers, 3 zippers. There were more, but I wanted to let other people have some if they wanted. And here's the yarn. The first yarn is 150 grams of an acrylic fingering weight that my 6-year-old wants to knit herself socks with. Does she knit? No. She's learning to crochet. So this may get put aside for a while unless I convince her to let me knit her socks with it. But that's okay. Knitting socks could be a fun first knitting project. And then I have 200 grams of this full of sheep yarn. It says it's by Red Heart. It is Stitch Nation by Debbie Stoller and 100% Peruvian wool. It's a little bit maybe itchy, but 200 grams is a good amount to do something with. I just have to figure out what. Maybe a kid sweater. And then 100 grams of Patons Croy socks in the color Flax. I think this is a good color for socks. So I will enjoy knitting with that a lot. So that is my craft exchange haul. I'm gonna have a lot of work to be doing. So hopefully I can get busy with my various projects. Thank you for watching. I hope you are busy with a lot of fun projects as well. And I will talk to you later. God bless.